What's up, everybody?
Hello.
It's the Fringe, live 103.7 WPWL, Polling Public Radio. I'm Mike Berquist. I don't hear myself too well in my headphones, which is annoying me.
I'm only hearing you out of one.
Out of one of your headphones?
Sounds like it.
That is, let me get your levels right also. By the way, this is live radio. This is the Fringe. I'm Mike Berquist. With me today,
Ed Dougherty.
we're from the Rush Studios. I assume it's still called that. I don't know. Information tends to trickle down to me. But yeah.
Hold on one second. I'm trying something.
What are you trying? Oh, different headphones?
Different headphones.
That's a good idea. I'd probably do it too. Yeah, I don't know what goes on in this studio at any given time when I'm not here. Everything is different when I come in. I'm going by the standard that was established by the engineers. This is the way to do it. And I come in, and it hasn't been done that way. And then these things happen. And then I complain, and nobody listens to me. So here we are, again, having
I can hear you out of one. You're
technology
fine.
issues. All right, well, all right. We'll see if we can fix that
I'm
on
deaf
some
in my
kind of
left
break.
ear, and I just didn't realize it.
Maybe that could be the case.
That could be.
I hope not.
This
But
would be a horrible time to find that out.
yeah, that would be a weird time. I'm glad you broke that news on this show because we are a media outlet, I guess.
Trending news.
It's true. The Fringe was doing live coverage of the Brett Kavanaugh hearings for days straight.
Were you really?
No, of course not. But before we jump into all kinds of wackiness, let's do the birthday, death day today. September 30th, birthday today. Truman Capote, a man who really needs no introduction. He's one of the most famous American writers in history. Would you call him I don't know. I'm not part of the gay community, so I don't know if he's an icon, but I feel like he's a very early, flamboyantly gay man in American, society.
Was he flamboyant? I don't know much about his...
Oh my God, Truman Capote was flamboyant.
I mean,
Yes, he
Liberace flamboyant?
I wouldn't go that far. I don't think anybody's Liberace flamboyant. But Capote,
Yeah,
he did not try to disguise it or hide it. Like, he was born in the South in the 20s, and he had just, never tried to hide anything about himself. I don't know, though. I mean, it's not really the point of why he's famous.
I would say more
Rec-
feminine, maybe?
Okay. Well, because I was going to say, major homosexual writer in the early thing, but I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
You're right. Let's cut this part out, as Chip Chipperson would say.
any part of part of certainty.
I saw the movie. I think
So did I, and I
the one with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
yeah,
Very, very good movie.
yeah.
But Capote's famous though for Breakfast at Tiffany's, of course, and In Cold Blood, about the Clutter family murders in Kansas.
Which is what the movie was about.
The movie Capote was about him writing Cold Blood,
yeah.
and how he developed that sort of quasi-romance with the murderer.
Yeah, it's really strange. It's like
I mean, at one point, Harper Lee says to him, you didn't fall in love with this murderer, did you? And he doesn't really answer.
It's, yeah. And then the thing is, whether or not he actually believes if he did it or not. And it's more or less I'm just going to write the story.
Oh, no, unequivocally.
He did it.
Oh, they know that those two dudes did it. It was, what were their names?
But it's just funny because, in the movie, the guy keeps, swearing his innocence, and Truman Capote's yeah, I know. And it just keeps writing, he did it.
Wait, which movie did you see?
The one with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
No, I don't think the guy ever said we didn't do... Wait. You know what? I haven't seen it in a
They
while.
vouched for their innocence, pretty hard, I'm pretty sure.
Did they? Okay.
But, that was, I thought, part of the movie was that, he was... Because he's interviewing the guy in the cell, and the guy's
Right.
I didn't do this.
I can't remember the guy's name
And he's
either.
still writing about it as if he did. And the guy's why are you still writing?
Yeah. I don't know.
I
You know
saw
what
it.
Truman Capote might be most famous for?
What?
Alcoholism. I'm going to go with that. Famous, he was very big in the alcoholic community back in the day.
What's his face? Take that mantle.
Alcoholic writers?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, the list
Yeah,
goes
but
on
top
and
of the
on
list,
and on.
I would say, is
Hemingway?
Hemingway.
Maybe. You put Fitzgerald up there, too.
Fitzgerald is number 2. Hemingway, I would say, is number 1, because Hemingway is just a walking alcoholic stereotype.
That's true. Yeah, he's got the machismo thing. Capote was an alcoholic. Tennessee Williams, I believe, was an alcoholic. Tennessee Williams, the other flamboyantly gay American writer, first cousins with Truman Capote.
See, that's the thing. It's like, do we know that he was
Capote?
Capote?
Yes, he had a husband in that movie.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he did.
Or maybe not a husband, but like a long-term male partner.
Male
Because I don't know
partner.
if back then
It
there was any
wasn't. It wouldn't have been a husband.
Yeah, I don't know. But Capote was an alcoholic. Jack Kerouac, alcoholic. And these are people who all died from that alcoholism also. Oscar Wilde was an alcoholic.
Most writers wind up being alcoholics.
Yes. The people who write
I'm
poetry.
waiting for J.K. Rowling to become an alcoholic.
That's the thing. The people who write
I wanna
poetry
talk
and
about.
literary fiction are the ones who fall into substance abuse mostly.
George R. R. Martin is just doing keg stands right now instead of writing the next Game of Thrones book.
Yeah, but the kegs are full of frosting. That's what he's doing. Instead of actually
It's a
working.
keg-sized like frosting tub.
Yeah, and I watched I watched something recently where he was talking to Stephen King, and he asked Stephen King, like, at the end of the thing, how do you write books so fast?
Well, because I saw that and it was like
He's like, I just set a word count and I hit it.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I do every day.
And then he was like, you don't ever go back and like want to reimagine characters and like George R. R. Martin's going on, like it just drives you nuts. And Stephen King's like, no, like
Yeah.
you know. And that's the thing. I going to talk about writers is just really quick. Is that's why like George R. R. Martin I think is a good writer, not a great writer, because it's one thing.
Okay.
It's like Stephen King is definitely a quantity over quality writer, I think.
Yes, I would agree with that.
But take Tolkien versus Martin.
Actually, with Stephen King's writing, and I know this is sacrilege in many circles, I don't think he is I would not consider him an excellent writer in terms of the actual mechanics of writing. I don't think he writes particularly great. He's good.
I think what he writes is great.
What he writes is
And the
great.
consistency of
The
which he
first
writes
two-thirds.
is great.
The first 2/3 of everything he writes is great.
Well, also the ideas are awesome. Like it.
Yes.
What's the car
But the
one?
way
Christine?
it ends is ridiculous.
Yeah, but because I think. Well, also you have to look.
You have to battle it
His
with
writing
riddles.
is also reflective of his life. I think too. If you look.
I don't think he ever battled an alien spider with riddles.
No, but he battles.
No,
you
I know,
He
I'm
was
just
battling
kidding.
alcoholism and stuff, and I think depending on what point of his life you read some of his works, they change drastically.
Up until about 2001
Yeah.
was the peak. He said that he has zero memory of writing any part of Cujo.
Right.
He is just that could have been written by someone else, and
He wouldn't have known.
he would have no idea. But I mean, that didn't happen. He wrote it, but yeah.
But I think like the thing with like Martin, where it's like, it's good that you care enough about what you're writing that you constantly re-edit and re-change things. But there's a limit to that, to where, especially in fantasy writing, where it's just get the damn words on the page. It's just
Yeah, get the words down
You're not
and-
going to get it perfect, and like
He
that.
screwed himself by adding 1,000 characters that have nothing to do,
Well, that have nothing to do, and
yet are important, and yet you have to keep track of them because
They
other
might
people's
be
actions.
yeah.
It's
it's like they're all POV chapters, and that's what's even
Right.
harder is like how do you do a POV chapter about somebody who, frankly, can die the next page, and you just
Well,
found out about him.
I think that's what's very exciting about.
Well,
a
it's
lot of
exciting
it.
about the books, but my point is that you're not that type of OCD compulsion of making sure everything works,
Right.
and this whole like web.
Oh,
It's very
yeah.
like I would argue. Well,
I'm going through it on a much smaller scale with my own writing because
Right.
I am on the second part of a series now, and I have to remember all the characters, and I got to keep track of when somebody does something. How does that affect everything else? It's all
right,
ripples
but
outward.
It ripples outward, but also his whole thing is that you have the houses, right? The main houses.
Right.
Then you have every other secondary house that he built an entire backstory for.
That's
which
true.
you didn't need to do.
No, I just heard. Who did I just hear the other day? I wish I could remember anything.
Besides, like, I mean, the Boltons. I mean, who else do you really need?
Somebody. Oh, it was Quentin Tarantino. Actually, I was listening to something yesterday where he was talking about screenwriting, and he was saying that when you build a mythology, you have to know everything, even if it doesn't end up on the paper. You have to know everything.
Well, that's
about
fine,
everything.
but he's trying to put all of that on the paper, and that's why it's taking so long.
I see. Yes, that, and also laziness.
That also laziness.
Let's be honest,
too.
there's laziness there.
Well, yeah, because he's using a word processor from '98.
That's not even most of the problem. I mean, Stephen King was saying he sets a goal of what, 1,500 words a day.
Yeah,
hits
and writes
that
it.
goal. George R. R. Martin basically does the Hemingway thing, where Hemingway is like, as long as he did writing that he considers good, he's free to drink for the rest of the day. And so what Hemingway would do sometimes is he would write a sentence, go, That's a good sentence. Then you get loaded and start shooting at cats in the alleyway.
Well, yeah,
That's
I mean,
all he
that's
would
also
do.
alcoholism, where it's, the drive to drink is
For
greater
sure.
than the drive to write. But no, I've had a very literary few weeks.
We'll get into that.
We'll get into that because I have some kind of beefs with some writers right now.
Oh, I love it. Let's start some controversy.
Well, not
some
controversy. There's been some controversy about it's about the new world of Harry Potter and everything that's going into it. And as someone who read the original 7 books,
All right.
I don't know if you saw the last. I don't know if you've been following up, but I follow the movies pretty closely.
No.
The last trailer for.
Well,
we'll get to that.
Save all that because I still got to do Death Day.
Death
here.
Day. Let's do Death
Day. Let's just put a pin in this bit.
You got it.
First, Death Day today. Monty Hall. It's been a year today since Monty Hall passed away. Monty Hall, of course, from Let's Make a Deal. Let me double check that.
Monty Hall.
So I know, and I know him because I've watched The Odd Couple before, and there's a very famous episode where Oscar falls asleep smoking in Felix's bed, burns the entire mattress up pretty much, and they go on Let's Make a Deal to try to get him a new mattress or to get the money for a new mattress. So yeah, Monty Hall, long-running host of Let's Make a Deal. Somebody else is running Let's Make a Deal now. Is it Wayne Brady?
Yes.
I hate that they're just redoing old. Come up with some new game shows and don't just stick them on Game Show Network, I'd say.
I think it's also that
it's member berries again.
Yeah, it's member berries. I think also it's just the idea that nobody really wants. I mean, we have new game shows, but they're Ninja Warrior, stuff like that. They're not.
Even Ninja Warrior we stole from a different area of the world.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just all these games. I don't. The age of game shows, I think, is dying out. Or
it died in
fast.
I don't know when the late 70s.
I think Jeopardy is the only one I think people like because trivia is a popular thing. But look
Jeopardy rules. Wheel of Fortune's still big.
HQ trivia on people's phones now.
Is that still going? No one in my house
Yes.
does it anymore.
I
as far as I know.
play it.
Okay, I've
every
only
day.
won one time, and we got about 50 cents because a bunch of people won.
I try to do the $100,000 ones because they boil that down to one person.
Oh, okay.
They've done it the last 2 weeks. Kevin Hart actually hosted the last one.
Oh, wow.
Where they don't have a limit of questions. They keep asking questions until the number just drops to 1, and that winner gets $100,000.
Oh, I love that. That's great. Now, does anyone know how they make their money yet?
Ad revenue, and I think people who can buy lives to get back into the game, people probably stock up on that.
Oh.
Ad revenue. Last week, they have a lot of sponsorships. Like Miller Lite hosted the last one, which was a video game trivia one.
Where was I? I would have crushed that.
I almost won it, except for the last question.
What was the question?
The last question was, at the end of Super Mario Brothers, when you jump on the flag, what insignia is on the flag as it goes down?
Would it not just be a mushroom?
No.
What is it?
It's a green skull.
A green skull?
Because they're all Bowser's castles.
And that's every flag or just the last flag?
The last flag.
Oh, God, that is hard.
But that was the last question. I didn't get it. But I would have won $1.30. But
That's pretty
Miller
good.
Lite hosted it, so all the revenue. So it was a $50,000 game.
Ooh.
So I think the companies like Miller Lite and stuff ditch out a ton of money for ads and commercials and stuff.
Okay.
Kevin Hart was promoting that night school movie he's doing.
Right.
So they had an ad for that in the middle of the game.
That movie does not look very good.
None of his movies have been good.
Oh, I disagree.
That
one with Will Ferrell, Get Hard, is very funny.
Get Hard is okay. Get Hard is probably the only good one.
Central Intelligence is not terrible.
Scary Movie 3 was good.
Was he in that?
He was the hype man for...
That's right.
But he wasn't even a main character.
That's right. It was him and Anthony Anderson were the two white rappers posse, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Yeah, HQ Trivia, I cannot stand Scott Rogowski, the host. I despise... He's everything wrong with humanity, I think, rolled into one man. Hipster, right?
Yeah.
Everything is skinny fit, which is very hipster. I don't like it.
He's the forgotten brother of Ryan Seacrest.
Sort of, and rightly so forgotten. But every single sentence is a bad pun. Every single one.
I don't really... I turn the volume down when I play.
Oh, yes, that's a must in our house anyways.
But also I found out that they kind of give hints when they're talking through the whole thing as to what the answer might be.
Do they really?
The way he goes over the answers while he's waiting for you, he'll say something or they'll say something small and insignificant, but if you know what they're saying, it's the right answer.
Okay.
So like I keep it up sometimes because like I've actually gotten answers right listening to what he's rambling on about.
Well, it looks like it's been around for about a year now.
It was a
As of
smaller
August.
app, and I think because you have to request friends, it's gotten bigger.
Okay, right. All right, well, so rest in peace, Monty Hall.
You've been outdone by a phone app.
Let's play a song now, and then we'll get into more specific things. We're going to be talking Elon Musk today,
And
for sure.
Flamethrowers.
Flamethrowers, of course. Yeah, so what I want to play is... I've revisited BioShock Infinite lately to replay that.
Great game series.
Oh, it's so good. I hear tell there's a third one being made right now.
Be.
But the lead guy who made the first two is not involved anymore.
I hate when that happens.
So
Although
do I.
God of War that happened and this new one was great.
Oh yeah, the new one I hear nothing but good things about. But BioShock Infinite it takes place in like, I don't know, 1922 or something like that, all the way back then. So all the music most of it is from that time period. And I want to play the one from the title screen because I like it every time I hear it. It's called After You've Gone, from 1918, and it is by, let me see here. Oh, it's a cover. Jesse Carolina covering After You've Gone from 1918. So let's hear that. And then we'll come back and chat about news and whatnot. That was After You've Gone, Jesse Carolina cover. That song's from 1918. I don't think that recording is. I think they might have just oldened it up, so to speak. Because, yeah. I love the way that they handle me. Because, have you played BioShock Infinite?
I played some of the BioShock games. I haven't played Infinite.
In Infinite, there's something called like rifts or tears in like space-time or whatever, and certain ones that you can like find or whatever and look through. Like there's one pretty early in the game where there's a tear and you look into it and it's like a little image of something else and it's playing Fortunate Son by Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Really?
Yeah, and then it closes up the rift. And
That's awesome.
Because they use those rifts to get some future and alternate reality stuff in there. So when you're on like the beach, also very early in the game, there's like a old carnival style. I'll play a little bit of it. Tell me if you can recognize the song, and everyone at home play too. Let me know if you can recognize this song.
What's that song?
From BioShock Infinite. All right, let's see. Let's try it.
Oh. Yes.
You know it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
That's correct.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so that'll just play quietly, like while you're on, like, it's all people in like those old timey bathing costumes, like with the stripes and stuff, and you know,
That's
like,
interesting.
Yeah. Oh my God, that game series, so immersive, so good. That's the way you do fiction, folks.
It's very Lovecraftian too.
I am so happy you brought up H.P. Lovecraft. I was reading a bunch of him yesterday. I wanted to talk about him today.
There's a new video game coming out about him.
There's 3 or 4 actually.
Yeah.
Because I know Call of Cthulhu is getting a remake.
Yep.
That they're making, and then there's an open world one coming out too.
Is that the Terror at Innsmouth? That one?
No, it's gonna be some sunken city.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a sunken city. It's like a half submerged, like not New York City, but
It's Boston.
I don't know if it is.
It's all his stories took place in Massachusetts.
Yeah, but I don't think it's Boston. Let me find H.P. Lovecraft.
Massachusetts or Rhode Island.
I hope one day I can write enough things that people are like, let's make an enormous amount of video games off of this.
You ever read like the backstory, like Lovecraft? Like it's funny because
I know a lot more about him than his actual work because I've watched the documentary at least once about his life.
It's just funny because it's like he accidentally created a mythos.
Oh yeah,
and it was really just because he was writing like these like cheap stories to make ends meet, and he just kept rehashing the same creatures over and over again.
Sort of.
And he kind of just was like, sort of absentmindedly connecting them.
To an extent.
To an extent.
I mean, he was a brilliant guy, but I mean, social anxiety, like I can't imagine it's ever been seen before or since, that level of social anxiety in somebody that prominent and brilliant. Maybe Nikola Tesla. Maybe.
If you see any of his photographs, they're actually like really awkward.
There's only like one that I've seen.
No, there's plenty. I follow a group on Facebook that has like.
I follow H.P. Lovecraft on Twitter.
But there's plenty of photographs. He does not smile in any of them.
Well, I mean, this is I think the famous one. Yeah, he's a weird looking kind of guy.
He's like 6 foot something too. Like he's really tall and like skinny, and he's like Slender Man.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, he must have been a pretty disturbed guy mentally to come up with some of that stuff, or maybe not, because some of the best horror comes from people who are not like typically in that business.
I think
they're just writing the stuff that terrifies them.
He's very inventive because he was like one of the first writers of like not extraterrestrial horror, but the idea that mankind is not alone in the universe and that what's out there is like far beyond like human conception.
There was some stuff out there before that because he was inspired by a number of things, but there definitely were not widely popular.
No.
Like he would have had to have pretty much sought them out. Or
they're making
whatever.
a movie of was it that the yellow color, the color?
The King in Yellow?
No, the one about the well. What was it?
The Color Out of Space.
Yes.
I read that for the first time yesterday.
They're making a movie out of that.
I loved that story.
That
dude.
one is great.
I was telling my parents about it this morning. They could not have cared less about it.
Parents don't. Yeah,
Parents just don't understand. I hear you, DJ Jazzy Jeff.
But they're making a movie of that. Like it's gonna be like a horror movie.
Didn't it come out already?
There've been movies of his works, but like an actual.
Yeah, no, there's a
theatrical release.
Yeah, there's a couple. There's a couple.
Dagon got one. That was like an old like.
I read Dagon about like the giant fish monster. There's a little cult too on that island or whatever. Yeah, I'm trying to find the games, the new ones. I guess I should go to the bottom of this page. Oh, and it's alphabetical. So I've just been scrolling through the alphabet, thinking I was finding it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's. I've found a whole bunch of news here today. That means I didn't find any. I didn't look.
Let's talk about, speaking of mad geniuses, Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, genius? You consider he's probably a genius.
He's a genius,
right?
He's a genius.
Another guy, very socially awkward.
I think he's just cracking under the pressure of everything. I think that's what's been going on. I think the man's slowly becoming unhinged.
Maybe. And I think it's sort of a Bill Murray type situation, but somebody did say no to him, and it cost him his CEO and $40 million. Where the Bill Murray idea that just going around doing whatever you want, having fun, trying to find someone who will say no to you. Trying to find the boundaries.
Partly that, but also there's reports from people within Tesla saying that like he sleeps under his desk a lot. Like they found him in the office, like he never left.
I mean, yeah, he's the CEO of 3 pretty massive corporations. I would imagine he doesn't have a ton of free time.
Yeah, but then there was that whole debacle with like those boys trapped in the cave.
Yeah, he should not have been involved with the Thailand cave rescue.
Well, he tried to, and they kicked him out, basically.
And then he called the guy a pedophile or something. Like,
and they're like, how dare you?
Like, doing that kind of thing only works for one man on the planet, and that man is Donald Trump. Everyone else who thinks they can be blunt like that and attack people and do all these things, no. Only one man has found that balance, and it's Donald Trump.
It was just strange.
It is, but I feel like he's an expert, Donald Trump. 10,000 hours of calling people losers.
Well, that's what it is. He's literally spent his whole career of just putting people down. Like but he's literally the master of put downs.
Kind of. I do feel like he doesn't get enough credit for the amount of jobs he's created, though, and is like he's created a lot of jobs, and he doesn't hire people. He's not a nepotistic kind of guy. I mean, there's his daughter, but she's obviously but they're all obviously very intelligent, so like they can handle it. It's not like he just has like screw up kids and he's like, fine, you can run this thing. You know?
He had it, yeah.
He keeps the right people around him. Maybe not in the White House, but in business for sure. Now, what were we talking about? How did we get here? Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
That's how. So Elon Musk is in Dutch, as the kids say. Okay, what's this? CNN money? Should we go fake news? Let's go Investopedia. Okay, yeah, this is much more concise. This is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So, Investopedia.com, but this is a wide news story about Elon Musk, where a while ago, when was it? It was shortly It was around the Rogan interview. Was it before or after when he tweeted?
Before.
Okay, it was before the Rogan interview. He tweeted out that he was looking to get his stock price. He was going to wait until the price fell to $420, and then he was going to take the company private.
Right.
He was going to buy up everything and take it private. It was something like that.
But he said he also had secured funding to do so.
Okay, and the SEC came in and went, you can't do that because everyone started selling off.
Well, that's what happened was, yeah, he said that, but the SEC stepped in and was like, okay, what facts do you have to back any of this up that you can do this? Like, where's the funding coming from? Why did you say this on Twitter? Like, all this, like, they did an investigation. It turned out there was no factual
and
security.
Because he kind of backtracked after the stock had already taken a fall, right?
Yeah, he was like, wait, I changed my mind. They're like, no.
Like, you can't just do that. Now buy up all these new stuff, like these fresh stocks here for cheap. So the SEC sued him. I'm surprised, actually, that they took such decisive action against him. I didn't think people that high up could get in trouble, especially not after 2008. Nobody got in trouble for any of that.
No, but it's a different time now, and I think that they're going after these people now. So
Elon Musk is now off of Tesla, which that sucks, man. I mean,
well, other thing is that his blueprints for the Tesla cars were never privatized.
What do you mean?
There's no patent on them.
Really?
He made it. His idea was to make that patent open so that any car company can make his cars because he wanted to make his model of car like the standard.
You know what? That's very Tesla of him.
But now
like actual Nikola Tesla of him.
But like that backfires now because now he can't do anything about it. So say like Honda wants to use the blueprints.
Thomas Edison the Sixth.
What?
Right?
Oh, Thomas.
Yeah, he comes in.
I thought about that for a second.
Yeah, no. Thomas Edison the Sixth comes in and goes, "Whoa, free? I think not. I'll take that and charge a very high premium on it." Yeah.
It comes with a light bulb.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, no. So his company's kind of screwed.
I know a lot of people thought that because he said $420 per share that it was another weed reference.
I think he's just.
I don't think
that's before he even smoked weed, so I feel like he's just trying to be goofy.
He took a hit of a blunt on Joe Rogan's podcast, and it didn't look like he even inhaled it.
It looked lame doing it.
He looked confused, like he was trying to play it off cool, but he was like, "I really am not sure what I'm doing."
Well, because he was probably like he's a nerdy guy that probably has never been near drugs his whole life, and is like, "Is this okay to do?" And Joe Rogan's like, "Yeah, it's legal here." He's like, "You sure?" He
made a public statement not long before that about how weed is bad for productivity, and it's not like if weed is, it's not good because you can't get anything done. And so then he smoked the weed, and everyone was like, "Oh no, stock prices drop it again," you know. And
I think he's just, I don't know.
He was having fun though. That's what I got from the Rogan interview was that he's been having fun because I don't know if you saw in that what is it, the Tesla Model X or whatever? What's like the newer one?
Yeah, it
can dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's actually like he hid Easter eggs in the car for people. Like if you just mess around with your car, you can find cool stuff that it can do.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really awesome. It can dance to the Nutcracker Suite.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, it doesn't really, like, dance. Like, the doors open and do all kinds of stuff, and the lights go.
Imagine, like, sitting in traffic, like, with your family and, like, hitting the wrong button. Like, what's going on? Like,
the doors are coming up. They're just scraping other cars.
Pushing the start button. Like, I think my car's alive.
Yeah.
It has a flamethrower built into it. Like, you push a button, like, just flames shoot out.
God. Like, dude, promise me that's your Mad Max car. When all of this collapses.
You didn't see what the comment I made was I have my bass guitar. I'm going to strap it to my bass guitar and be the doof warrior.
I did see that comment. Yeah. God,
we'll talk about that one, though. That's a fun little gadget I have now.
Yeah. We'll tell you that. So Elon Musk, he had to resign as CEO of Tesla, which means he's still CEO of the Boring Company. Still, I believe he's CEO of SpaceX, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And PayPal.
What do you mean? He owns PayPal?
He owns PayPal.
Under?
PayPal.
He just outright bought PayPal?
I think he was one of the minds behind it.
Really? Is that where his money comes from?
Part of it, I think. He had something to do with PayPal.
I had no idea about that. Elon Musk, let's find...
I'm pretty sure PayPal. Yeah.
PayPal. He made money before... 8 innovative ways Elon Musk made money before he was a billionaire. He created and sold his own video game at the age of 12. So
Blastar.
Blastar. I don't know what that is. Let's see. There's a little video of Blastar. Well, it's got all the right noises, that's for sure. Let's see. What do you do?
It's just Galaga.
It really is just Galaga, but I guess you only battle one ship at a time.
I guess.
All right. Well, you know what? In fairness, he was 12, but that game sucks. So he made Blastar, and he taught himself programming it starting at 9 years old. Received $500 when the source code for the game was published in a South African magazine, PC and Office
I forgot he's South
Technology.
African.
Yeah. First product he ever sold. He called it a trivial game, but better than Flappy Bird. After that, he took a job as a boiler room cleaner at a lumber mill. After leaving South Africa in 1988.
Is his brother?
Who's his brother?
His brother's name is Kimball. Kimball Musk.
I don't even see where you're seeing that.
The third one.
All right. Hold on. I'm still in a second. Let's see. $18 an hour in 1989. He'd wear a hazmat suit, crawling through small spaces, shoveling residue in extremely high temperature conditions. So the guy understands actual
work.
He landed an internship with the Bank of Nova Scotia by cold calling a top executive to meet for lunch. I mean, I've heard a lot of success stories about just reaching out to high-ranking people and then just getting stuff.
I have a cool... someone tweeted about that she was a former secretary to some billionaire.
Okay.
And if you want billionaires to send you wedding gifts, you just have to send them invites, because half the time they don't look at their mail that they get, and the secretaries go through it and just assume that like they know who that person is.
Right.
So they'll send a gift saying like, "Oh, I can't make it, but take this." So
Wow.
it's one way to get billionaires to send you gifts at your wedding. Like that will probably be worth.
I just thought of an awesome scam.
What?
Well, I'm getting married constantly these days, so I should send out a whole bunch of invitations to a whole bunch of billionaires.
Wait till your actual wedding and then just send out mass letters to like billionaires.
But why? There's no need to have a big expensive party. Why not just send out just make up an invite, send it to a billionaire, have him send a gift to my house. Just have a house furnished by billionaires. That's what I want to do.
You could do that.
That's a pretty good scam. Come on, you gotta agree with me here.
Hopefully, no billionaires
are
listening to this.
Trust me, no billionaires are listening to this. The Fringe. I want to try out some new taglines for The Fringe. I wrote a couple in my phone.
He paid for rent in college by converting his house into a nightclub.
This man is becoming my hero. He sold computer parts and full PCs out of his dorm room. He sold entire computers as well as various hardware parts from the comfort of his dorm room. Dude, Mike LePere was doing this, or he wanted to a couple years ago. Remember he was talking about that all the time, about building people computers?
Yeah.
And, he wouldn't just make me a computer. He wanted to, sit down and, father-son it with me. And I was like, I'm not doing that with you. So, okay, so, wow. He's the inspiration for Tony Stark in the Iron Man movie?
Is he really?
That's what it says right here. Not bad for the guy who would eventually become the inspiration for Tony Stark in Iron Man.
That's actually pretty...
It makes sense. The movie version, not the comic book, for everyone out there. You know what? You know what I just learned the other day that blew my mind?
What?
This might be a little inside. I don't know how many people know Bert Kreischer. Are you familiar with Bert Kreischer?
No.
The Machine. He's a pretty popular stand-up comic. He's got...
oh, is that the guy who wears his no shirt? Yeah.
Yes, Bert Kreischer.
Yeah.
Bert Kreischer is the inspiration for the movie Van Wilder. Van Wilder is based on Bert Kreischer.
That's awesome.
Apparently, he was voted the number one partier at FSU when he went to FSU. It was number one party school, and he was voted the number one partier. So they came and did an interview with him, and then National Lampoon was we're making a movie based on that article.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
And they did, and it was...
My favorite one was when he was a kid and they went to that Russian field trip or whatever.
I know the bit you're talking about, but I haven't heard it, where he inadvertently helps the mob and earns the nickname The Machine.
Yeah, he winds up on this train, an overnight train.
Right.
And their escorts through, because it was during the Soviet Union, basically, right?
Okay.
Or the collapse of it, right?
Right.
So they were, everything was run by Russian mobsters. So their escorts were basically mob guys.
Right.
And they were told not to interact with them, just let them do their thing, you guys will be safe. And he winds up drinking tons of vodka with them, and they think he's the Machine. And then like his teacher comes in to like drag him out, and the Russians like spit in her face and like kick her out, or he spits in her face and kicks her out, and they're like, "Yes, machine." And then later on the night, they go about and literally rob the rest of his classmates. Like they like go through the rooms,
Really?
like take stuff. And basically, what happens at the end of the story? Actually, they wind up stealing vodka. Like they basically run the train, right? No one's gonna stop them. They're mob guys.
Okay.
So finally, they get to the station, and the teacher has. To punish him, I guess the kids have gotten together and called the police, right? The Russian police show up at the station.
All right.
And he gets handed to the police, pull him aside, and the teacher thinks he's going to get in trouble and stuff. And it ends with the cop whispering in his ear, "So, I hear you're the machine."
Oh, okay. That's kind of like Ron White's tater salad
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
But it was more or less the line of like, the police were corrupt too at the time.
Right.
So it was just like, hey, like, you're that guy, right? And
Yeah.
like, yeah.
That's the thing about Bert Kreischer is I've heard a bunch of his stories on podcasts and stuff, and I don't know if I believe any of them, but they're entertaining.
I believe them because just the sheer, like the guy's that kind of party guy that would wind up in those situations, like.
But like every day of his life, it's insane now.
Well,
how much-
the thing is, the guys like that build like crazy social circles. You
That's
know?
very true.
And it's-
That's the kind of man who cold calls a billionaire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like just kind of like you wake up in someone else's bathtub, and the next thing you know, you're like in another country, like
Yeah.
hanging with Russian mob guys. Like it's
Being called the Machine. Arguably a very cool nickname. to
very
have.
cool machine. Because you gotta know, like they're saying the machine, but like what's that? Like how do you say machine in Russian?
Let's find out right now.
Because that's gotta sound even cooler.
Let me see. Let's go to YouTube. Let's
The
type in
machine.
machine in Russian. Okay, it links right to Bert Kreischer.
Yeah, 'cause it's
all
literally-
Bert Kreischer.
How do you say the machine in Russian?
How to say machine in Russian?
How to swear in Russian? Just go to Google Translate.
I guess so, but and then we'll make the computer say it. I gotcha. Google. English to Russian.
Enter text.
Let's go. Machine. It's gonna give me something Cyrillic, right? Machina.
Machina.
Машина.
Machina.
I was hoping for something better.
What about the machine?
It's a good point. Let's
Might
throw
be
in
different.
the machine.
Машина.
Nope. Still,
Nope.
it's still the
Machina.
same. They don't have time for the in Russia. No time at all. So let's finish up with Elon Musk here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like you were saying, he paid for rent in college by converting his house into a nightclub. So after transferring to the University of Pennsylvania in 1992, good year, Musk quickly put his entrepreneurial instincts to good use. He and a friend moved into a 10-bedroom frat house off campus for relatively cheap. During the week, the two of them would study, but on weekends, they turned the place into a full-out unlicensed speakeasy, according to his roommate, Adeo Resi. This included covering the windows with black trash bags and the walls with bright paint. Musk, who was never big on drinking except for the occasional vodka and Diet Coke, would stay sober for these events to keep things under control. He would run the parties, and as he explained, I was paying my own way through college and could make an entire month's rent in one night. Once his mother, May, even worked the door at one of the parties.
That's crazy.
Which one is him? Is that him?
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk on the right? Did he have
Hair implants?
He must have had some kind of hair plugs or hair implants or something because he is balding fast in
He
2000.
looks like me.
You guys do have very similar hair in that picture, yeah.
I'm honored.
Look at that. Now all you have to do is go back in time, make a video game at age 12, and you're on the right track. He quit grad school at Stanford University to co-found an internet startup.
Yeah, which was PayPal.
They started Zip2, a company that provided maps and
Oh,
directories
that's
to
the other
online newspapers. That's probably coming up soon, right?
That's the next image.
He first became a millionaire 4 years later when he and his brother sold Zip2. They sold to Compaq. Remember the PC company Compaq with a
Yeah.
Q? In 99.
He
He
there you
scored
go.
a net return of over $165 million after his financial services company X.com merged with PayPal, which was bought by eBay. Wow. So, this dude, he's got like the golden touch, except
Yeah.
for Twitter. And he goes on there and he ruins everything. $40 million and not allowed to be the CEO of something he founded. Doesn't that suck? Lesser men took away what he built.
I guess, but he also...
That's how I like to look at
He
it.
also flew dangerously close to the sun on this one.
That's true. He did defraud investors.
Yeah, I mean he could go to jail for that.
I mean,
they made him pay a $20 million, $40 million fine or something like that. But that
I thought it was $40 million. Okay, it's only $20 million.
$20 million. That's still a lot, but
it's Elon Musk. He's a billionaire.
He could also
That's
go to
nothing.
jail too for that. I mean, they didn't press charges any further.
No, yeah, he settled with them, so he's going to step down from Tesla. If he's smart, he'll find a loophole and start another car company with a different name. Just do the exact same thing. Start another company, call it Edison. Start your company, Edison. Build it up, do the same thing. Hire everyone from Tesla. And put it out to Tesla. Hey, anybody who wants to come work over at my new car startup, come on over,
Well, like I said, his car patents, his car designs weren't patented. He could just take back his car designs.
It's very smart because now, it's exactly what he can do.
Imagine he planned it the whole time. Like, this is like what he expected to do.
Maybe.
This man might be like the biggest evil genius.
I feel like this is his Steve Jobs moment when he when he was forced to leave Apple, went and created the computer, like the stuff that Apple was going to need for the next product.
Yeah.
So they had to buy it from him, and then he came back in.
I'm
hoping it's that.
It could be that.
I hope so. Man, I'm very into business right now.
Me too. It's very interesting to watch now, and I think I think more and more people are starting to get into the idea of
turning your money into more money. I smell. Yeah. Do you smell what I smell?
I did briefly.
We'll investigate that on a break. But
come back later.
Yeah.
But speaking of Elon Musk, do you want to talk about the
naturally, this leads directly into the flamethrower thing. I might take the following audio and combine it with our previous audio because you had been on the show in the past talking about buying a boring company flamethrower.
I had.
They made 20,000 of them, $200 a piece. They made $500 a piece, 20,000. That's right, because he made a clean $1 million off it.
Yes.
Yeah. And they sold out in 48 hours.
Yep.
Something like that. And our very own Ed Dougherty here. Well, I guess kind of. You're like a guest on the show now.
I'm
not a nerd.
I'm a piece of furniture in this place.
Oh, God, I hope not. Everything is broken in this place and awful.
Each of us in our own way is
broken.
broken.
All of the furniture is broken. All of it. I'm looking at a chair with no left arm rest, sitting right there.
Maybe I
don't even know what's going on with this one here. Maybe they are an amputee. You're right. Maybe we're progressive here at 103.7.
PWL Public Radio.
You're right. I want to attach their name to all these nonsensical things I'm spouting. By the way, a catchphrase I'm thinking for the Fringe. The Fringe, excellent background entertainment for when football is on.
Yeah, there you go.
There's that. The Fringe, not good enough for mornings. That's another one. Maybe, tell us about the flamethrower. We'll take a break after
So, basically, it's not, it even says in the box, quote, not a flamethrower. And it really isn't. Legally, it can't be classified as a flamethrower because flamethrowers are naturally legal.
And I think it has to do with how far the flame shoots out.
Under
right?
10
Isn't it under 8?
8 to 10 feet would be a military-grade flamethrower, so that's why you can't sell something like that.
Right.
Anything less can be used as welding or
a more close-range flamethrower weapon.
Close range, or a landscaping tool to burn brush.
Okay.
And weeds.
All right.
Basically, what they did was they bought, I guess, a basic airsoft rifle design and just refitted the flamethrower through it. I mean, the one I have, you can clearly see that there was a magazine designed to go in at some time. It actually shoots relatively far. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
It is. It looks like a video game weapon. Like something that you would have in I don't know, maybe Halo
or Fortnite or something.
Fortnite. Yep, I think you nailed it, actually. It does look like a Fortnite gun.
That was the...
By the way, I'm trying to get good at Fortnite, so all you 12-year-olds out there, watch out. Because...
They're saying that's going to be the top Halloween costumes this year is Fortnite. Like those,
That doesn't even make a lot of sense. Nobody's going to know what that is, right?
Everyone's going to know what that is.
Yeah, you're right. Everyone does play Fortnite.
However, I didn't get the fuel with it. It takes propane.
Propane. Just run in the mill, go to the store, get some propane.
Okay. Actually, they gave me money to buy fuel. They sent me a letter in the thing saying, according to the lawyers, we can't give you fuel for this, but here's $5 to stock up on fuel, and they gave me a $5 bill attached to it.
Anyone who says Elon Musk is evil doesn't know what they're talking
I
about.
like
Which
to
was
think-
me for a long time.
I like to think that $5 bill came out of his pocket.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Like I said, that Rogan interview turned me around almost completely on Elon Musk. I thought he was some kind of evil genius trying to take over the world.
He's my
destroy
Willy Wonka,
everything.
man. I still think he is, but I think he's like
I think he's just a weird
Lex
guy
Luthor.
who likes to have some fun. He's like, I am in a position where I have money to just do anything I want.
like colonize
just-
Mars.
Digging holes under Los Angeles.
He's literally a child with money.
Yes.
Like all the little kid ideas you
And-
had growing up, like I want to go to Mars, like I want to dig a hole to China. He's doing it. Like he's like, I have the money to do this.
Part of me thinks, and this is unfounded, I've done no research into this or anything, but part of me thinks that he is somewhere on the spectrum of autism.
I think a lot of geniuses are, though.
You
I
think
wouldn't
so?
say that's just him.
Well, no, we got to be careful because autism has become a blanket term for things, even just including smart. You know, if you're
Yeah.
just really smart and socially awkward,
I mean, I don't know enough about his personal life to be able to say anything for sure, but I'm not
Neither
gonna.
do I.
I'm not gonna back your claim, but I don't deny it.
I mean, it's not a claim.
Right.
Let's make that perfectly clear
Speculation.
so that I don't get sued. I mean, the man is out $20 million.
Yeah.
He might be looking for people to sue right now.
He might be.
recoup that money, and I'm not the bank, Mr. Musk.
Mr. Old,
know what?
Old Muskie.
Yeah, we're enemies again, Elon Musk. Congratulations, because of this fictional thing I just invented. That's
yeah.
how easy it is to get on my bad side. I need to fabricate a story. Oh, that's a joke, of course. But
No, it's a lot of fun to play with.
where do you play with it? Because it is my understanding that not everyone in your family is aware you have it.
And hopefully they're not listening. If
Yeah.
you are, I'm not telling you where it is. You cannot find it. Just when they're not home.
Oh, all right, fair
Just,
enough. Where do you use it? You
sit
live in a
outside my
heavily
door.
wooded area.
I found a gap. I can
Okay.
sit there and just.
Now, do you set up? I don't understand how you like. Do you like put targets up and try to hit it with the?
No,
like I don't understand exactly like
just,
what you would do.
ignite it and just watch it go, and it's kind of. You know what it reminds me of? The ones from Alien. You know how their rifles had the flamethrowers attached to them?
Maybe. Oh, you're talking aliens.
Aliens, yeah.
Boo. Aliens flamethrower. I don't like that Google is tracking what I'm doing, but
It kind of works the same way where it's not like a big flame. It's just enough to like get something away from you.
Ripley's
Yeah,
flamethrower. Which
like
is
that. It looks exactly like that. That's what it does.
I wouldn't be surprised if he took some kind of inspiration.
Oh, I
from this.
100% think he did. Or Spaceballs. Spaceballs has the same one.
Spaceballs actually is something he referenced. He said he's a massive fan of that movie, and that was the reason
Spaceballs
he
the
did it.
flamethrower.
Because he said at one
Merchandising.
point they're walking through the gift shop, and Yogurt, I
Takes
guess
out a
Mel Brooks'
flamethrower.
character goes, he points out the flamethrowers. and he says,
Spaceballs the flamethrower.
when he
Kids
says,
love this.
Yeah, very popular with the kids or something like that. Yeah.
And actually, to get onto the website to buy it, because it was encrypted, you had to find the password that changed every hour.
Right, I remember you telling me about that. Yeah.
One of the passwords was a Spaceballs reference. You had to type in Spaceballs, and I think that's what got you in.
Okay.
Or you could just do what I did, was just left the screen on, like the window open for like 20 minutes, and it just takes you there automatically if you sit out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a guy. If the Riddler was a real person, if the Riddler and Lex Luthor had a baby, it might be Elon Musk. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun to play with. Can't wait to really take it out and
Now, do you know anybody else who
Fun
has
parties.
one?
no, but I've
None of your like buddies from work or anything bought one, or
no one's that crazy enough to drop that money on something like that,
It is a lot for a flamethrower.
which I've since paid off. But
Yeah,
also I have a flamethrower now.
and it's one of a kind. They're never gonna
And
make them again.
The fuel is cheap.
Yeah,
Fuel is cheap.
dude, that flamethrower is going to be worth a significant sum of money
Down the road.
Oh hell yeah!
If I keep the box and everything, American
as
Pickers are going to come into my door in 40 years like, this is a flamethrower.
As soon as American Boots hit Mars, that flamethrower's
Well,
value is
the
going
thing
up.
I'm waiting for, though, is I had to sign a lot of legal stuff with it.
Okay.
From Boring. Like, you're not allowed to use this on people. You're not allowed to use this, like, for...
Right.
You're not allowed to
All kinds of
customize it in any
like
way.
mod it into a
Mod
stronger
it.
flamethrower. Yeah. I just saw you wink at me, I think.
But now that he's stepped down... I mean, he's still head of Boring, but I'm waiting...
Yeah.
I'm kind of waiting for him to step out of that so that the contract I signed is null.
I think he's actually going to devote way more time to that now because
Probably, which kind of kills me now because my idea
he's
was to run a
building like
bigger
a
fuel line and attach it to an actual propane tank.
Oh, so
And
you want to
just-
blow yourself up?
Well, I was gonna do No Country for Old Men and kind of just walk around with the tank and just like Javier Bardem kind of thing.
Yeah, was that a propane tank?
No, it was a nail gun.
That was
but
just an oxygen tank.
it was an
I
oxygen
think.
tank with a nail gun.
No, that was it. There
was a nail
no,
gun.
There was no actual nail. It was compressed air that shot out so hard it killed.
No, it was a nail gun.
There's no way it's a nail gun.
It's a nail gun.
No Country
For
for
Old
Old
Men.
Anton.
Weapon?
Yeah, let's go with weapon. It's gonna be a silent shotgun, isn't it? Yeah.
Captive bolt pistol.
Oof.
A bolt.
Sorry about that. It fires a bolt into the brains. That's what I was saying. You were saying air or something stupid like that.
Yeah,
Like, I
that's
mean-
what they used in the.
Wow, I had no idea.
That's what they used in It, the new one.
I haven't seen it yet. Is it?
Oh.
Is it?
I like it better than the original.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be too hard to surpass that.
Also, Stephen King said it's more like the book than the original.
Okay, let's hope the sequel's not more like the book than the original. I just hate the way they fight it, man. You gotta. It's like the tongue's got to be stuck together. It was something bizarre. It's like Stephen King.
Silver.
He no, it wasn't.
They wounded it with silver.
Oh, I'm talking the book then. I get confused here. In the book, they have to. It's something like you gotta like nail your tongues together, but psychically, you gotta do it in your brain or something, and then
They haven't even addressed anything like that in the first movie. That it's
makes
something weird like that.
almost
So
no
it's
sense.
it's probably gonna be
I
them
wonder
just
if
killing it.
any of the Dark Tower like gods are gonna show up because the turtle is absolutely referenced in the book.
It's referenced vaguely in the movie. The brother has what's his name? The one that disappears.
Oh,
Georgie.
yes, Georgie.
Georgie has
Stutterin' Bill.
the turtle as a Lego set on his nightstand. It's a turtle with the world on his back.
Okay.
And they kind of show it, but they don't really reference. They're treating it like a regular horror movie, so it's not going to be as deep as the books went with like the whole like religion and like,
Right.
the-
And they changed. What was the black kid's name? Mike.
yeah.
They changed his encounter with it to the old military club that gets burned down and everyone's stuck in there.
Yeah.
They changed it to that, right? Where in the book it's a gigantic bird on the remains of the blown up factory. There was like some Easter and a factory exploding.
They
killed like
have
300
that's
people.
what goes after the fat kid.
Is the bird?
No, is he's going through the history. He's a history buff, so he's going through the town history of Derry.
Okay.
And looking at all the murders, and he looks at the Easter egg factory, and he finds there's the aftermath, and he's going through the pages, and there's a tree next to the burnt out factory.
Right.
Everyone's like, around it. It's like a black and white photograph. But he keeps turning the pages, and they keep zooming in closer on the tree, and there's a child's head like in the tree.
Oh God.
And he gets chased by a smoking headless boy holding Easter eggs.
All right, that's
Through the library.
That's pretty creepy. Did they do in? They must have in part one. They just focused on the kid stuff, right? So they showed that psychopath kid
Yes.
who keeps the dead animals in the
And the
refrigerator.
bullies. They don't show that. He's a bully that's kind of nuts.
Right. It's Patrick something, I think, is his name.
Whatever. His father's the cop in the town. His father's like abusive.
Oh, they're adding a lot of story for
Well,
him.
there's a scene in the movie where he lost one of his friends to it, right? They go chasing the kid. They're beating up the fat kid. He actually starts carving his name into the fat kid's stomach. In this movie.
Oh, that's. I think Henry Bowers does that by himself in the book.
Well, he's got two goons with him, but one of the goons is like, "What are you doing?" Like, the more reasonable.
There
goon.
should be.
There's three boys.
There should be four. It's Henry Bowers, two other dudes, and then the Patrick kid is kind of an offshoot of them.
No, there's no Patrick kid. It's just Henry Bowers.
Patrick's the one that kills his infant brother in the crib.
They don't go over that.
I'm glad they don't, because I had to skip some of those chapters. Very disturbing.
No, it's Henry Bowers
Okay.
and his two buddies.
Right.
And Henry Bowers is like nuts, and he starts carving up the fat kid, and then he he headbutts him, and he runs to in the woods, and they're chasing him.
Right.
And the one kid goes into the sewer system and like thinks he's in there, and it turns out to be it. And then the fat kid winds up running to these kids in the river. They're all playing in the river, and he's like, "Help me!" And they help him.
Oh, yeah, that's very early on.
Yeah, they're taking parts out of the book, and then they're not.
Okay.
But then Bowers he tries to kill Mike with the bolt gun,
Okay.
'Cause
oh,
Mike-
right, the
Mike
bolt
works
gun.
in a slaughterhouse,
That's how we're
yeah.
talking about this. Yeah, yeah.
and he goes to kill Mike with the bolt gun as they're climbing down the well in this old house. To,
Works in a slaughterhouse. What year is this?
60s.
They were allowing children to work in slaughterhouses in the 1960s?
Well, it's not like a slaughterhouse. He's killing the sheep. Like, he's putting the bolts in them.
Is he a farm? Because I know
He's a farmer on the outside
right,
of town.
Right. Yeah, they have the farm right next to
So
Bowers.
he gets angry finally because like Bowers has been picking on him.
Yeah.
And he like beats the crap out of Bowers and like pushes him, and Bowers falls down the well and like bounces off the well, and then you don't see him again.
Okay.
But then before that, he killed his father because it tells him to.
Okay. Yeah.
But there's a scene.
that's
There's a scene
all
where
new stuff,
Bowers
it seems
is using his dad's gun to try to shoot cats. Like he's got like a target practice set up, and he's going to shoot a cat, and his dad comes out and like calls him like a paper man or whatever.
Right.
And you know he takes the gun from him.
I thought his father in the book. His father is just a dirt poor dirtbag farmer. I think
He's a dirt poor dirtbag cop in this one.
Okay.
And he turns around and unloads a clip on Bowers' feet. Like he shoots like around him.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's how you see like a paper man crumble or something like that.
Huh.
And his son goes nuts and takes his knife and kills him in his sleep, and then goes after the kids and then falls down a well. You don't see him for the rest of the movie.
Yikes.
And then they fight the clown.
Well, let's look at the cast because they announced the cast for
Yes,
part 2.
yep.
Chapter 2, all the adults. Everyone can stop guessing now. Beverly Marsh is being played by Jessica Chastain.
We knew that was happening.
Everyone was calling for that forever.
Yep. James McAvoy is going to be Bill.
Yes, he's playing Stuttering Bill Denbrough.
That's good.
Bill Hader's playing Richie Tozier.
Which is good.
Who was like the class clown, kind of goofy guy. That's pretty good. Then we get to Jay Ryan, I don't know, but he's playing Ben Hanscom, the fat kid.
The fat kid, which looks just like
He
him.
does look like him, yeah. Another New Zealand, Australian area of the world actor taking all our jobs. He took our jobs. Eddie Kaspbrak being played by James Ransone. Perfect casting. Yep. James Ransone's a fantastic actor. And then, who's playing? Maybe they're not even showing who's going to be playing Henry, right? Oh, here's Mike Hanlon, played by Isaiah Mustafa. Who's that?
That's the Old Spice guy. I'm a horse.
No way. Is it? Oh, wow. Okay. And then, who am I looking for? Stanley Uris, played by Andy Bean. I don't know who Andy Bean is. Doesn't look like he's part of much if he's also best known for It Chapter 2, which hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, no, he's probably... Which one was Stanley?
Stanley was a curly-headed kid.
Oh, right.
He's going to be in this movie for 5 minutes.
He gets killed, doesn't he?
He commits suicide as soon as he gets the phone call that the killings are starting up again in Derry. He just kills himself in the
because
bathtub.
in the first movie, he's... like, they catch the thing trying to eat him, like, in the process of eating him, and they fight it off.
Oh.
Like, they turn around and, like, the thing's got, like, teeth, like, on his face, like, it's eating him. And then, like, he's like, you guys left me, like, he's freaking out. Like,
okay. Yeah, I don't... Huh.
Also, the way they did the deadlights was pretty interesting.
I don't remember what the deadlights are.
Remember,
exactly.
it can hypnotize people with his deadlights? They're caught in my deadlights.
Not really.
He opens his mouth and, like, there's, like, these lights, like, hypnotize people.
Okay.
But then, like, in his lair, like, there's kids floating around. It's kind of like a spider's web, but they're just kind of floating in place. He just kind of feeds on them, like a spider feeds on bugs.
Oh, all right. Huh.
And you actually kind of see part in the beginning when they're fighting him, kind of what he actually looks like a little bit. There's a part where he's fighting Mike, and his arms turn into, like, his actual spider arms, and he's, like, trying to stab the ground with them.
Even the spider is not how he looks, it turns out. Like, he's like... It's just something that I think spider is the closest form it can take to its actual thing.
Yeah. Well,
that's one of my
it's like a crab-looking thing. It's like not like exactly a spider. Like it had like crab legs.
Well, no, because they refer to it as a big pregnant spider. I think in the book.
In the book, yeah.
And in the book, what was I going to say? It was one of my favorite things. Oh, when it is attacking that Patrick kid, the sociopath, because it turns into something that's going to frighten you.
Yeah.
Like whatever is going to freak you out, he'll take on that form. Like he can psychically get in your head and figure that out. Because this kid's such a sociopath who only thinks that he's the only living thing that's worth anything, and that nothing scares him or anything. It tries, because I think Beverly sees from a distance it trying to get to the kid. It keeps changing forms, not settling on anything because it can't find something to freak him out. So it just becomes leeches. And it just leeches onto him, and he starts screaming and running away and stuff. Yeah, it's a pretty good book until like the end. See, and Tom Rogan is being played by Will Bain Brink. Tom Rogan is Beverly's husband in part 2, who plays a role in things. Yeah, I'm not seeing Henry... Oh, wait, there it is. Teach Grant is playing Henry Bowers.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Looks like he's been in a lot of really kind of like...
Low-budget horror movies?
Yeah, like C-level horror movies. The Tall Man, Repeaters, Devour, and It Chapter 2.
Altered Carbon. He's in Altered Carbon.
I didn't see that. Is it good?
I haven't seen it. I heard it's like Blade Runner.
I do love Blade Runner. I haven't seen Blade Runner Part 2 yet, though. 2049, whatever.
Oh, you know what I watched a couple weeks ago on IFC or BBC? They had a Mad Max marathon.
Ooh, I think I caught some of that,
So
actually.
I watched all 3.
Okay.
I didn't realize how many references to the old movies there are in the new one.
Like what?
The music box that he plays.
Now, which original Mad Max? All 3?
All 3. So it was Mad Max,
Also,
Road Warrior.
The
and-
music box from Road Warrior that he shows to the feral
Yeah.
kid? Okay.
which was in all of them.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he has it in the first one too.
The first one is almost unwatchable for me at this point.
It's pretty bad.
It has like almost nothing to do with Mad Max after that.
Yep.
Because that first movie is it doesn't seem like it's the apocalypse. There's still a
it's
functioning.
the beginning of the apocalypse.
Okay, because it's a functioning police department. Vehicles don't seem to have a gas problem. It's just a motorcycle gang.
They're in the process. In that time, it's when the world's starting to go to crap.
Okay.
So in between 1 and 2 is when the nuclear skirmishes happen.
Oh, all right, that makes sense.
So it's like the calm before the storm. Like everything is about to get bad.
Right.
Also in the first one, there is already fallout. Like there's already do not enter zones. Like there's
I have not seen it in a very long time.
there's nuclear zones that he goes into. Like he chases
Okay.
the main guys into the wasteland.
Yeah, and actually Saw, the horror series Saw kind of ripped off the end of that first movie where remember the oil is dropping into
Yep.
the pan and there's the fire right
Yep.
by, and as soon as that oil hits that top, it's going
blows.
to blow up everything. And he gives the guy's handcuffed to the vehicle,
cut
and
his
he
leg
throws
off.
him the hacksaw or the handsaw thing goes like, you can either cut your leg off or die like this. And they do the exact same thing in Saw, except
Saw.
without the fire. It's
Yep.
just like an empty bathtub or something
But
stupid.
they had the music box. Immortan Joe is played by the guy who played the villain in the first one.
Yes.
And one of his generals is played by the guy who was one of the bad guys in the second one.
Was he Humongous? General
No.
Humongous? Or
He
whatever
was
his name
Wiz.
is? Wiz.
The one with the mohawk that had the boyfriend on the bike.
Oh, yeah, the feral kid throws the boomerang.
Yeah,
into
and he
the,
kills his man friend.
Yeah.
But there's
His
a part
man friend.
there's a part where Wiz is hissing at the guy. He's like,
yeah.
and then he does it to Furiosa when they're fighting on the back of Immortan Joe's car. And I realized I looked at the actors; it's the same guy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
they really took.
and then some of the dream sequences he had
Yeah.
were clips from the first and second one.
Oh, I think I remember that part.
But
Yeah.
his eyes bugging out and stuff. That's the eyes that what's his face had before he got crushed by the semi.
Yeah, they had the eyes bugging out throughout at least in the first two. I don't know if they did it in the third.
I don't think they did in the third.
And then I don't remember them bringing it back. I got to see Fury Road again. As far as reboots go, that might be top tier.
It's
It
definitely
has to be top tier. If not the top.
It's funny. The guy who made that, the only other movie he made was Babe.
Really? Like Pig?
talking
Babe
pig,
the
yep.
Pig? Not even Pig in the City?
I think he did Pig in the City too.
Okay, good.
And
Or it's I like to call it
was I
Wrecked.
want to redo
No, not Wreck. Trainwreck.
Trainwreck.
Yeah.
I want to do.
Do you get it?
Yes.
Okay. Amy Schumer, everyone. Mm-hmm. She's a joke stealing pig.
Yes.
Yep.
But yeah, no. There's a lot of references. There's one of the old women in that one was one of the women in 2.
All right.
It's just crazy. It's just I was I didn't realize there was so many callbacks.
Yeah, I like when they do stuff like that.
The War Boys. There's a War Boy in Escape from Thunderdome.
Really?
One of the kids.
That's a really interesting kind of pull.
One of the kids,
Yeah.
the one that doesn't talk and is weird, is painted up like a war boy, and his hair is growing back, his head was shaved,
Yeah.
and it's I don't know if it's a conspiracy, a theory or whatever, but it's what if he's one of the kids that left the Citadel?
Yeah, I mean, probably. Yeah, I feel like the guy who wrote all of them had a big... that thing we were talking about earlier about having the mythology.
Mythology.
And knowing everything before you do anything
Right.
with it. So he could put that in because he knew 30 years later.
Because
He's gonna put it in again.
the kid's not part of the kids that survived the plane crash. So he's not one of those kids.
Right. Did they ever explain why there's a painting of Max on the cave wall?
No, but there's a painting of that boy too, and it's like they predicted the boy coming. So where did he come from if it wasn't the Citadel? So that's what it's like. So he escaped Immortan Joe.
I just want the next one already.
I don't know what Tom Hardy says. He's trying to get it go. Like he's in it, but I don't think they have a date or anything like a script set or anything. I think he's just been busy with like Venom and everything.
That's right.
Venom comes out next month.
I can't wait. Venom's gonna be awesome.
Do you see any of the clips from it?
I just use the commercials and stuff. I'm trying not to watch too much because I want to be surprised. Because I know there's going to be cameos in there. They're already teasing Carnage. They're saying Woody Harrelson, maybe.
That wouldn't be too bad.
Woody Harrelson's pretty old, though. Isn't Carnage supposed to be more, like, closer
Younger?
to age to Eddie Brock than
Yeah,
Woody Harrelson?
but also Eddie Brock in this is 40.
Oh, okay.
He's like late 30s, early 40s. He's older.
And this is Marvel Cinematic Universe?
It's to be determined where this movie lies with everything because
That's fine.
There were leaks originally in the beginning saying that Tom Holland does make an appearance in this, even though it takes place in San Francisco.
Whoa, it takes place in San Francisco.
Not New York.
The hell's that about?
Eddie Brock did a report. They allude to he does a report from the Globe, which was where Peter Parker works.
Right.
But his story got him in trouble. He got run out of New York, so he's in San Francisco now.
Okay. He'll be back.
Well, that's my thing. And then someone claimed to be on the costume department in that movie and said that he personally helped Tom Holland fit back into the spider suit.
Oh, all right.
So he was like, yeah, like he's totally in this somewhere.
Right.
No one can verify that.
I guess we'll find out.
But the thing is, it's not a Fox movie, but it's Sony.
Oh, okay. Sony's like the last holdout with Marvel characters.
Because Disney bought Fox, right? So that now X-Men and all that. But also Disney owns Sony through a contract.
Yikes.
So basically,
they
have. That's why they can do Spider-Man: Homecoming, and they allowed the Garfield movies.
Oh well, thank God for that.
So like, they have like a dual ownership of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And so technically, they can include Venom into the MCU if they wanted.
All right. I hope they don't.
Well, the other reason
so much better when it's removed from everything else.
Well, that's the thing is everyone was like, well, what's this movie rated? And then it came out it's rated PG-13.
Yeah, which is lame as hell.
Which everybody was like, why would they do that? And someone pointed out it's so that they can have Tom Holland show up in it because they're not going to have Tom Holland Spider-Man show up in an R-rated superhero
Maybe that's
film.
part of the reason you see they're re-releasing Deadpool 2 into theaters with a PG-13 cut of the movie.
Are they?
Yes.
Yes. So
because the movie was banned in China, and so they lost a significant amount of what
revenue.
they thought they were going to be making in the international film stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they're re-releasing it in PG-13. They're just going to cut out whatever.
I think that's
maybe though they're saying that there's no reason to see it if you've already seen it because it's not anything
there's nothing
new.
different.
But maybe there will be. Maybe there'll be some kind of.
Well, they already showed the X-Men in there.
Yes, I saw that Colossus makes an appearance. I haven't seen the movie.
Oh,
though.
you haven't seen it?
I have not seen Deadpool 2 yet.
Oh.
Because I am offended by the R rating. I'm kidding. I don't care about that at all.
There's just a brief joke. Because he's always joking, like, where are the other X-Men in the beginning?
That there's no budget
and he
for
turns
them.
his back around, and the rest of the X-Men, like McAvoy and all of them, are in a room.
Yeah.
And Beast quietly just closes the door on him.
Okay.
Like, he just is, like, looking around, like, closes it. But they're in it.
All right.
So it's
I like that.
All right, so now that he's part of this universe now, and now they're saying the X-Men are going to be into the MCU now.
You got to be careful with Deadpool. You can't just throw him into everything because it's going to completely change the way that it happens. Because he breaks the fourth wall constantly.
Yes,
it's anything you put Deadpool in, it becomes a Deadpool.
I think if they're
movie.
gonna throw Deadpool in, Deadpool will never team up with like the Avengers in any movie. I don't think. But if they do a Deadpool 3, it might take place like after the events of Infinity War, and he might make comments about it. He already makes a Thanos comment in Deadpool 2.
Okay.
Winter Soldier reference.
They introduced Typhoid Mary in the new Iron Fist season.
Did they?
Yes. So maybe they throw her because Typhoid Mary is a big character with Deadpool.
Yes. Deadpool might be coming to Netflix. Maybe he'd be teaming up with
okay with
Punisher
that.
and the Defenders. He could do that.
But this has been the Nerd Vault, everyone.
Yes, it has. I have come back and stolen the show.
Yeah, but no, let's talk, because I was going to say before we were talking about horror stuff, keeping with that, because, it's not Halloween, it's October-ish. I think I'm going to lean pretty hard into kind of horror stuff. Started with my H.P. Lovecraft. Now I'm seeing here in the news.
You do this little finger blast.
I always do the hand move. They're just
Lovecraft.
constantly moving around. Hey,
Oh, piece of pizza. Forget about it.
So, I'm seeing here on USA Today, mosquito apocalypse is in full effect. North Carolina is being hit by mosquitoes that are, I believe it said, 3 times the size of normal mosquitoes. Which, by the way, that's part of the story of The Color Out of Space.
Yes.
I just want to put that out there, that everything starts growing larger and then it becomes brittle and gray and all that. I almost said the S word, but I don't remember where in the sentence. So that would have been odd.
That's also because they have massive flood water, so the mosquitoes are going to thrive.
Yes. It says Cassie
That's normal, though.
Wadowski returned home after picking up her 4-year-old daughter from school Tuesday evening, was greeted by a swarm of bloodthirsty mosquitoes. By the way, calling them bloodthirsty mosquitoes is redundant.
Yeah.
But it's redundancy used for hyperbole, which is a strange way to show your ineptitude in an article. So, yeah. Swarm of bloodthirsty mosquitoes. Not just any mosquitoes, aggressive, monstrous pests with stripes on their legs.
They're that large you can see designs on their legs?
I guess. Let's see. It was like a flurry, like it was snowing mosquitoes, the stay-at-home mother of 2 said. I think my car agitated them. I waited for them to calm down before I grabbed the kids and ran into the house.
So your kid was outside in the mosquito storm and you were just sitting there in your car waiting?
It's like that Kevin Hart joke, remember? My baby, he's stuck in the gnats. Remember? Yeah. Walking into the cloud of gnats, like, Somebody please help my baby. So, Wadowski is just one of the many people in North Carolina who is fighting against a monster mosquito outbreak, the result of flooding caused by Hurricane Florence. It didn't hit automatically. It was more gradual. It took maybe 3 or 4 days after the storm passed before it got to this epidemic level. I'm going to have to text my buddy Nick, who lives down there.
Did you see the thing about how big they can get? The species that can be 3 times as large as average mosquitoes, and the larvae are known to prey on aquatic animals that are as large as tadpoles.
Jesus.
The females can grow up to feed on large mammals, humans included.
How big are the male mosquitoes? Because the males,
Small.
the regular males are gigantic.
No, their species is, I think it's called sexually dimorphous, where the females are always larger than the males. So males...
Oh, so it's the male that's doing the blood sucking?
No,
not the female?
females do the blood sucking.
Well, you know those larger ones that are...
Those are actually mosquito killers. They look like mosquitoes. They actually do not eat.
I thought that was the other gender. It doesn't suck the blood. It's just there for reproduction.
No. No, the big females are the ones who suck the blood. The smaller males don't do anything. They're just annoying.
Okay.
The male mosquitoes grow up to be ready to reproduce, then they die.
Okay.
The females drink blood because they need to stay alive.
So what's that giant one? That's just another bug?
I believe it's a type of species that preys on mosquitoes. It just looks like them so it can get near them.
Let's see.
Because that's what a mosquito looks like.
Right.
The big... I know what you're talking about. It's these things.
Yeah, it's like that. What's this thing?
Oh, those might be the males.
That's a male mosquito, isn't it? We're getting this from headleystupid.blogspot.com. So this is from a blog spot. Who knows if this is even true? I mean, the font changes size in the article, if you can call it an article. All right, well, I don't know what... It looks like they're getting into a whole battle of the sexes on that
Yeah,
blog.
that was weird.
Yeah, so we're going to get away from that. But, yeah, so... Well, it looks like there's 61 species of mosquito in North Carolina. Probably 15 to 20 would be highly responsive to floodwaters in this kind of a way. That's crazy, though, man.
It's common for places like...
She posted a video on Facebook. Let's take... Actually, I don't know if she's going to curse or not.
She probably is.
So we'll just play it silently here. She's just filming outside of the passenger side window. There's a truck next to her. Wow, dude. That looks like a wasp swarm.
Yeah, those are big.
And that's mosquitoes.
That's a lot of blood.
Oh my god, dude, those are giant. Wow. All right, so North Carolina is this is one of... I guess this would be like a more modern type of plague, right?
I say
Like
this is-
Moses' kind of stuff.
This is a biblical. There were mosquitoes in that one.
And floodwaters, I think. Right?
End of days.
You raised your eyes at me like, like this is credible. Let's do this. This is the end. What were the other plagues? I don't remember. Is there any way we can kind of Nostradamus this into some kind of fame for us?
Let me go back. The cattle died out.
I'm going to start, by the way.
Frogs.
I'm going to start posting vague predictions online until I get a following of people who
A
think I
man
can
will
see the
lose his
future.
hammer.
Yeah, stuff like that. And then people are going to be like, oh, do you see that man in the news lost his hammer? Like, it's just, because people just project their nonsense onto whatever.
Yeah.
As long as you find people who want to believe, you have
An audience.
customer, so to speak, or whatever, for life. So,
I'm trying to think. It was frogs.
frogs,
Plague of frogs. The rivers ran red.
death of the firstborn.
Death of the
is
firstborn.
The last, I think.
Plague of locusts.
Plague of locusts.
Um,
Did you say water turned to blood or
Yes.
something like that? You did. Boils on the
boils.
skin.
fire from the sky.
That's right. How many were there?
12.
12?
12 plagues.
That is so many plagues.
Last plague was death of the firstborn.
Let's see. Okay. Plagues of Egypt, Wikipedia. Is there any actual historical
lice.
stuff
Yes.
that says these happened?
Yes.
That's a rough year in Egypt, dude.
Well, not historically, but they have been able, through science, been able to basically recreate this. Basically, what they believe what it was around the time that this would have happened, there was a volcanic explosion. I want to say, not Krakatoa. Whatever the big one was, that would have caused environmental
Vesuvius?
impacts. Vesuvius. Maybe it's Vesuvius.
No, this would have taken place long before that, right?
Basically, what caused the river to turn red was the sudden rise in copper and sediment from the bottom of the riverbed.
Right.
Frogs not being able to breathe underwater with all that sediment would have come out of the water. The
Lice
locusts,
just sounds like a regular day. In
that could have just
ancient
been
Egypt.
massive outbreaks.
I mean, I feel like everyone had lice. Any time before 1800, everyone
Egyptians
was
were very good
riddled
about
with lice.
that. Egyptians, that's why they wore wigs.
They wore wigs?
Yeah, you know all the big hair the Egyptians have? Those were wigs. Most of them had shaved heads.
Oh, I thought they just had cool hair.
No, they shaved their heads to keep lice out. The lice would go into the wigs, not their actual heads.
Fair enough. So we got frogs, we got lice, mixture of wild animals. What does that mean? The fourth plague of Egypt
Swarm
was
of
of
wild
creatures
animals.
capable of harming people and livestock. Looks like they can't really. Most likely scorpions, venomous snakes, and other venomous arthropods and reptiles.
But this would all be subsequent after a volcanic explosion, as these creatures would probably be fleeing
Right.
wherever they are because the area around them has changed. The sun blacked out. That's they reported. Thunderstorms of hail and fire would be the
Like rock and ash and.
well, yeah, like
The volcano eruption,
Volcano
right?
eruption, and that would be the clouds that are passing by and dropping, hail and brimstone and stuff.
Right. Locusts, it could have just been that time of year.
Locusts actually
No?
will travel to. If there's smoke in the sky, they'll stay low. The swarms.
And you know a lot about the science behind these plagues. Where'd you learn all this? You watching a lot of History Channel?
Yeah.
I was going to say, yeah.
Darkness would have been.
Was it a Hitler alien that made the volcano explode, though?
Yeah. Darkness for 3 days would have been caused by the cloud cover.
Yeah.
Darkness for 3 days. Death of the firstborn. This is interesting. Noxious gas, fumes that would have come out of the explosion.
Right.
Toxic gases and gases settle at a lower level, right? On floor levels, right?
All right.
Egyptian households, back in the day, the firstborn slept on the floor in special beds,
All right.
where the rest of the family slept higher up.
Oh.
Because firstborns were first up to do chores and stuff like that. They were head of the household. So the gas would have crept over and would have, it was like carbon monoxide.
Oh, wow.
So everyone above ground would have been fine, but
they
everyone
must have been
sleeping
pretty high up in their beds then, right?
Well, the beds were probably like actual beds, right?
But would there have been that much of a distinction between the floor and the bed that
if
only
there's
one member would have died?
If there's a bedroom, the house is probably at multi-level, so you walk. There was either stairs or a platform that the bed was on to keep, because snakes and stuff would have crawled under it. You have to have raised beds to keep those things out.
Right.
So the children slept on the floor at the near the foot of the bed.
Yeah.
The firstborns. And so the gases would have suffocated them in their sleep and killed nobody else.
Wow. That's something.
Including the Pharaoh's own child, because he would have kept with tradition.
It's true. What was his name? Ramses II? I only know that because of the cartoon Moses movie.
It was Ramses II. Ozymandias.
That's like all my... Whoa. Ramses II is Ozymandias? Dude, I'm learning so much right now about Egypt.
Yep.
That's crazy to me. I thought Ozymandias was either fake or something else.
Nope. Ozymandias, it was the Greek name for Ramses II.
Wow.
Or it might have been his actual name.
All right.
Ozymandias Ramses.
I'm having a lot of Owen Wilson.
They just found a giant statue of him
Wow.
in a couple months back.
All
They
right.
pulled him out of a sewer drain. He was like an 18-foot tall sculpture.
How is that for Owen Wilson though? Wow.
That's pretty good.
Oh, I love accents, trying to do voice. That's my new thing. Watching Ozark, I can kind of do two of the characters. Jacob Snell and Cade Langmore. I can kind of do both of their voices.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to do them right now, though. Jacob Snell is a hard one to do. Cade Langmore, though, I pretty much nail, as far as I'm concerned. I haven't tried it with anybody yet. Oh, I will. Next time I'm drunk in public, I'm going to do all the characters.
So in an hour from now.
No. Dude, I haven't drank since
Good for you.
Nick's wedding, I guess.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm trying to not drink or anything. I just haven't. I don't know.
Yeah, you're busy.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Let's take a break. And then, man, my nose just, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., my nose just runs. I don't get it. It just happens. But, okay, what song? There was one I had in mind. Oh, Phoebe Bridgers did a cover of Teenage Dirtbag, the Wheatus song.
Mm-hmm.
Familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Let me get Phoebe Bridgers, but let's get Teenage Dirtbag. It's a pretty good version of it. I mean, it's not a particularly good song to begin with, so, it is what it is. Looks like she also did Wrecking Ball, but we're not going to do that one. Here's Phoebe Bridgers doing a cover of Wheatus's Teenage Dirtbag. It looks like... Yeah, I don't know when she put this out. This is from 5 months ago, so whatever. Here's Phoebe Bridgers covering Teenage Dirtbag. We're back. Phoebe Bridgers, Teenage Dirtbag. Dude, I wish that we could broadcast all of the hilarious conversations we're happening off the air. Because we're coming on the air and we're just like, factoid, back and forth. And then off the air, we're like, listen to this crazy stuff that happened, you know?
Stuff we cannot repeat on air anymore.
I know, it's a bummer.
One day we will.
One day, dude, I want to really get heavy into podcasting. I'm probably going to invest in some equipment soon.
If you invest, man, I will be there. I'm down to do some podcasting.
You want to do some podcasting? Teresa wants to podcast. Teresa started listening to podcasts, and now she wants to do podcasts.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Did we tease something before? Oh, you said you wanted to take on the literary industry.
I do want to take on the literary industry.
You want to bring some people down to earth.
I have some beefs.
Let's hear these beefs.
With authors. All right.
Let's do it.
I'm coming at you, J.K. Rowling.
Oh, okay.
I'm coming at you. Recently, there was a trailer released for the upcoming Fantastic Beasts Where to Find Them film called The Crimes of Grindelwald.
I will stop you just for a second and remind you that she did not write these movies.
She did not, but she authorized what went in them. She helped write them.
But you like the Game of Thrones TV show?
Yes.
Then, sir, I don't know how to respond to you.
Why?
Because they changed everything in the
these aren't based off books.
Then, I'm just going to let you continue. I'm trying to find the issue before you even said it.
So Fantastic Beasts Where to Find Them is not based off books. There was one tiny little book that was a glossary of A to Z of mythical creatures. That's where this came from.
I had that in
I also
second or third grade, whatever. Scholastic
so
book fairs, y'all.
She didn't write any material. She didn't necessarily write material for this movie, but she oversaw with the writer of the film, and she gave him her ideas, essentially, right?
Okay.
One of the characters that we've been trying to figure out from the trailers who she is. She's this Asian woman in a cage in a circus, and we were like, who is this? Turns out...
Just sounds racist. Okay.
Turns out she's Nagini.
I don't know what that is.
Voldemort's snake.
Again, I don't know.
All right.
Is that a euphemism?
Voldemort has a snake named Nagini in the 7 books. It turns out to be a Horcrux. It's one of the keys to killing him, right?
Okay.
Now, we find out that this snake is not just a snake. It's just a person who eventually turns into a snake and turns evil for some reason.
Oh, okay.
But people are like, why?
Why is she evil?
No, why do we need a backstory on a snake?
Maybe it's interesting.
Well, this is the other thing too, is that she also came out and said that Remus Lupin's werewolf syndrome is a metaphor for HIV.
Yeah, because, HIV, I guess, there's ebbs and flows. It's there, and then you're cured, and then it's back again, but only on the full moon.
But that's my point, though, is that my beef with
What a lazy analogy that is.
But it's not, though.
She definitely came up with that years afterwards.
That's what I'm saying. She said that recently.
Yeah, there's no way that was in her head when she was writing it. But
that's what she's been doing. She's been on this trend of tweeting out things to make her book seem more quote-unquote woke. And you guys never figured that out the entire time that,
She's just Captain Hindsight?
Yeah, it's but she's wholeheartedly committing these things to her mythos, right? Like, it's the idea of Nagini, right? The name. She's saying, first off, the woman who got cast...
It just sounds like an Italian magician.
Right. The woman who got cast is actually Korean, right? And there's a bit of racist uproar with that because now she's coming out tweeting saying the name she got for the snake originally was from, an Indonesian name of, a snake demon, right?
Okay.
And that there's many cultures in Indonesia, including Chinese and Japanese, not Korean.
All right.
Not Korean. So people are like, well, why is it... Specifically, certain Asian groups are complaining that there's a Korean playing somebody who's not.
Let me react to that real quick. It was something I meant to bring up weeks ago, and I just didn't have time to, and I'm glad that there's now a reason to bring it back up.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you. Acting is acting.
Yes, exactly.
You're not supposed to literally be the character. You're supposed to act out the part. So if somebody... I'm so sick of hearing... They didn't cast a gay person as this gay role. They didn't cast a trans person for this trans role. It's an actor. They're just trying to do the best they can with the thing.
Yep.
Why does everybody want reality all the time? You know what I mean?
Because
there's a
people
difference.
are lost in their own minds.
There's a difference, though, with certain things. Like with Harry Potter and that thing, it's fictional.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
If you're looking at something like 12 Years a Slave, starring, Daniel Craig
Hopkins.
or Anthony Hopkins, you'd be like, all right, this is a little weird. You know, that's a different story altogether.
Yeah.
But when it comes to I don't know. I don't understand because the people were complaining about that Stonewall movie years ago. I didn't see it. It's I don't know.
What, the Stonewall Inn thing?
Yeah, some kind of riot or something. It was a big
It's a gay rights
thing.
Big gay rights thing.
It's something. I think it was more like trans.
There was a murder, I think, there.
I remember Javon Bradley trying to take me to task over my opinion of the thing because he was like, "Can you believe they didn't even cast a trans person in this role?" It's like, but it's acting.
Right.
They don't have to be the same as the person. You just That bothers me.
Anyway, so
why in these movies with talking dogs? That's
what.
I'm trying to make an analogy of why aren't people angry when the animals who can talk in movies aren't just why isn't it an animal talking? Why is it a person talking?
That's a bit of a stretch.
Well, it's ridiculous is what I'm trying to say. Okay. I'm just taking it to an extreme to show how ridiculous it is.
You are. I see.
Yeah.
But
Airbud though, stand-up guy. Continue.
I have something to show
can't
you.
wait till
I have
his
something to show
hashtag
you.
me
Speaking
too.
of Airbud, I have something to show you later.
Is it Airbud's hashtag me too?
No, it has something to do with some of my younger sister sent me. It's hilarious.
They found all Harvey Weinstein's peanut butter?
No.
All right. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, I get what you're
Picking up what I'm putting down?
Yes.
All right. Continue.
Anyway, so that aside, that's not even what bothers me. What bothers me is when you have an author who, years after her books have come out, is actively trying to retcon
to make herself seem better?
Seem like a better person.
Or a better writer.
Or yeah, like that her writing was actually that deep to begin with when
also,
it wasn't.
There's no shame in just writing things or creating things for entertainment value. There's no shame in that.
Right, but to hop on the social justice bandwagon and say Dumbledore's gay.
There's no need for any of that.
There was no need for that.
Unless it directly has something to do with the plot or characterization in a meaningful way, there's no reason to do it. Just for the sake of doing it is not good. It actually makes you look worse, in my opinion.
Right, it does. And people are roasting her online because of that. And it's people are one woman tweeted out J.K. Rowling, the Sorting Hat was trans, and
The Sorting Hat identifies as a baseball cap or something like that. Yeah.
Sirius Black is a Black Lives Matter protester. It's just
yeah, it's just well, that's odd because it didn't come up at all in the story.
Yeah, well, that's the point. And it's in the whole thing of because Rowling had a say over casting as well for these movies, so she helped cast this woman.
She did pretty good with. I mean, she brought Emma Watson, my future bride, to the forefront. So good for her.
Well, no, not with those movies, but these movies, she's having a say.
All right.
I'm not talking about the original films. I'm talking about this new trilogy that's coming out.
Fair enough.
Same thing with that Harry Potter and the Cursed Child thing, which was really just.
Is that a stage play?
It's a stage play
Yeah.
that she endorsed, basically, and
She didn't write it?
no, someone else wrote. A friend of hers wrote it using her characters. But it's basically fan fiction. It's literally fan fiction, and she's like, "Yeah, this is canon." It's like not. There's no way. There's elements of that screenplay that do not add up in the entire. For example, one of the villains is Voldemort's daughter. Why would there
I didn't
be?
know that he had a
He
family.
doesn't have a family. That's my point.
And that's in The Cursed Child?
The Cursed Child is about years later after the Harry Potter films of Harry's
I guess
children's generation.
Voldemort settled down and had a family.
That's complete. But see what I'm saying? It contradicts the previous literature.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I get it.
Say take
And
Tolkien.
it is
for-
easy to go like, oh, it's just wizards. Who cares? But it is weird when
People
somebody builds.
base their lives around these books.
They shouldn't.
I
but-
mean,
Go ahead. Were you about to say you do?
I have a Harry Potter tattoo, but
You have a Harry Potter tattoo? What is it?
it's an Azkaban tattoo.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like runic or something.
It is runes. She got the idea off the runes.
Oh, okay. You should tell people it's runes. And
I
not
do tell
Harry
people.
Potter.
I do tell people it's runes.
just
People ask me what that is. It's just a rune, and no one will ever look that up and try to figure out what it is.
No, I don't even know. How would you even look up a
You
tattoo
had-
symbol?
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Event. I mean, event is search engine where you draw the thing you're looking for, and then it finds it for you. I copyright that right now. That's mine.
Might take you some
Everyone out
dark
there.
places depending on how you draw.
Yeah, I don't want Dennis Elsis swooping in here and taking more than just my music.
There you
That's
go.
a conspiracy theory I have.
Oh yeah.
That WFUV listens to my show. They play a lot of the same music as I do.
Hmm.
After I've already played it.
We might have to pay a visit.
It's a conspiracy theory. I'm flattered if it's true. I don't care if it is true.
Right.
I also don't think it really is.
But yeah, just calling out because it's just stupid because it's one thing like she created this whole universe online in Pottermore of like the American schools.
What is Pottermore? I've heard this a lot.
Pottermore? I was actually a beta tester for that site.
Oh, it's a website?
It's a website you go on. With fun little activities, you can get sorted. You find out like what your Patronus is and stuff like that.
Didn't they do it years ago? They had a Harry Potter website that would like put you in a house and it
That's
was all
what this
animated.
was. It's grown since then.
The one that used to, I think it used to just be on the WB website.
Oh,
Then
no,
I'm going back
that's-
to like when we were 9 years
Oh,
old
no,
and the
yeah,
internet
no.
was fairly, there wasn't a Facebook yet.
Right.
You know.
But Pottermore basically is also where she's also released the books online. You can read them.
Okay.
But with her, with like basically like not like deleted scenes put in, but like pages she took out and sections she took out, and like she annotates like what she took out. You can like
interesting.
read like how the book originally was going to be.
I kind of like that.
It's cool, and she's also introduced the greater universe in her world of. Because people have always asked, like, hey, like...
Oh, are there schools in other countries, right?
And she's
I
like,
remember
yeah,
this.
and she gave us that. So, like, there's... And in Fantastic Beasts, they allude to the American school, Ivermorny.
Ivermorny, it's called?
Yeah, it's in Massachusetts.
So one is called Ivermorny and the other is Hogwarts.
Ivermorny, Hogwarts.
Why would it be Hogwarts if everything else has a nice sounding name?
It's just, I don't know, wizard stuff. But then, like...
Wizard stuff.
There's, like, a...
I don't know, wizard stuff.
But
That's a great excuse.
Then she got backlash a bit for the Eastern school.
What's the Eastern school? Uh-oh. Is it super racist?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
It's in Japan. She describes the place as a jade palace.
Yikes.
And the wizards level up through a color system, not at all unsimilar to the belt system in martial arts.
Interesting.
Their robes change color depending on their levels, and black is the last one,
Okay.
and white is the first one. So essentially, they're earning martial arts belts through witchcraft.
Yeah.
And then also,
I would love it. I want to see a spin-off where it's like they keep contacting that school for like, we need wizards. Like, we're just a martial arts academy. Please stop contacting us for help. We don't have magic here.
just fists.
Who told you that? You know, like, I want to see that.
She got also flack because she built one in Africa, and alluded that Africa is just one country. It's like not like a bunch of different ones.
Yeah.
So
is it the largest continent in the world?
yes,
Or maybe second to Asia, or no, third. It must be third.
third.
Unless it's fourth behind North America. You know what?
I don't
know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
folks. I really don't.
But she got flack for that too because she just plopped in the middle of the Congo and was like, "This is the the first school because all life came from here, and it's like
Also,
old
why don't
and-
you pick a more destabilized region to build your wizard school?
Right,
The Congo?
It's like somewhere in the middle of the Congo.
God.
But she didn't do any like research on like any of that stuff, so she just kind of like did generic Africa kind of thing.
Yeah. She Googled Africa and went, right, chip, cheerio, school goes here. I assume that's how she speaks.
It's it's under British ministry occupation still, like
Scorched earth policy.
yeah, right.
Yeah. Ugh.
But yeah, so she did all this stuff, and she got a little bit of flack for it, but she built a better universe, and that's fine, give or take. But to go back through tweeting
She found
and
a way
say,
to make more money. Kudos
that's
in a
what it
business
is.
sense.
But that's what, like, to go back and be like, you know, like, Hagrid was trans the whole time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's stupid.
Yeah,
Because no one buys it.
Right.
Second of all, it just makes you look even more shallow because it's like...
Unless it was something that she actually had planned out and there were clues, and then she
The
reveals
Dumbledore thing was the only thing I'll give her that was planned out and sort of seemed that it could have been.
Right. Because if you just start adding stuff late in the game just to make that kind of thing, it's
That's
like
what she's doing.
foreshadowing. People don't understand how key foreshadowing is when it comes to like the successful exhibition or like the successful execution of like a literary project.
Right.
Foreshadowing is so important because you can't just have things pop up out of nowhere and everyone accept it. It doesn't really work like that.
And then there's like, well, it's not that it's the same thing, but there was obviously in the book she never gives skin tone any sort of nobody
I
does.
guess, yeah, because they're just up in England, so I guess
Up
you
in
just
England,
assume
you
they're
assume
all
they're white. And so someone pointed out was like the description of Hermione
Actually-
is very
Actually, the most racist Chinese name I think I might have ever heard in my life, Cho Chang.
Cho Chang, who is Scottish.
No.
She's Scotch Korean in that book. She's
Like
not-
that Starburst commercial?
Yes,
You're a Scotch Korean.
she's Scottish. Oh, at least in the movie she is. I don't know about if she
a
is in the
walking
book.
contradiction.
But yeah, Cho Chang, the Chinese girl from England,
Yeah.
going to English school. But then there's
God, what-
not there's
that's-
really an uproar, but it was the whole thing of
No one complained about Cho Chang?
no, but they're asking if Hermione was black because there's no her physical description fits. She has frizzy hair and all this other stuff, and people are like, "Well, what does that mean?" And she's like, "Well, I never said she was white," and everyone was like. Everyone started questioning whether or not they're racist because they
I'm
like,
treading very dangerous ground because there's a slur they use against Hermione quite a bit in that book that also doesn't sound great. When you're a wizard
Yes.
with when your
Yeah.
parents don't have
Mudblood?
magic. Yeah. I was going to not
Yeah.
say it because in this context
It's
now
not a real
sounds
word.
way more racist than it was. Emma Watson, now part of my harem of wives. We were talking
Yeah.
about that the other week. Named the episode 2 weeks ago, I think. He-Ram. That's a harem for women. That women have a harem of men. It's a he-ram.
Hiram.
Teresa has a he-ram.
Oh, I bet
I
she
have
does.
a harem. She's a he-ram. You would have a harem also.
I would have a harem.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say who's on it.
I mean, why? You could. Unless they're like people in our town. I wouldn't recommend it.
No.
Oh, that was a very delayed no.
No, I had to think about that for a second though.
Somebody from England's tuning in right now, actually.
Really?
From a mobile thing.
Hello.
What's up, Lincoln? With a little British flag. He hears me talking smack about Harry Potter and his girl, J.K. Rowling. Maybe it is J.K. Rowling. Would that be neat? Anytime she hears Harry Potter, she
that
gets
was
a
the other
Google
one.
alert.
That was the other one where she posted a thing on Twitter of like to see if like you, what was it like to find out like a quiz you could take to find out like if you like what you're saying is like kind of like racist or whatever.
Wait, what?
Like she posted like an article on like a quiz on like HuffPost or something like quizzes like questions you can answer to like find out like if what you're saying in your everyday conversation is like vaguely racist.
Can we find this test and take it on the air right now?
I don't know if I think it was like a test, but someone tweeted
Huffington Post?
maybe, but someone tweeted back at her. It was like question 1: did you create a race of hooked-nosed banker goblins or something? Like,
Oh my god, I forgot about that completely.
yeah, and so they're like question 1: like, can you please answer that?
Yeah, no one seems to have any issue with stereotyping Jews in the media.
No, it's
None.
I think it's because
bizarre.
the media is run by them.
I mean, not totally.
No, but I think it's you know,
Rupert Murdoch is just a crotchety old Australian man.
but like most of Hollywood is run by Jewish people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I see that
you
more
are
as
right.
coincidence than
You
conspiracy.
are right
but-
though. It just seems to be that's the one stereotype people seem
Look
to
at Star
overlook.
Trek. The Ferengi.
Yeah,
That's... That's
dwarves in
blatant.
Tolkien.
Okay. It's whatever creature has an oversized facial feature. like their
Oversized
whole
facial
species.
feature or an obsession with money
Right.
or bartering.
Yes.
It's a
The
constant.
Ferengi are maybe the worst offenders ever, though. Their entire society is built off of profit.
So we're dwarves.
No, but you remember the Ferengi, right?
Yeah.
Star Trek, they're all about gold-pressed latinum and business and screwing over their relatives for, like, a small amount of money, and
Yeah.
it's not a good look. I don't know how they got away with writing that. Maybe it's because it was the early to mid-90s, and you can still kind of do that.
There's actually a good documentary about that on Netflix. It's called The Last Laugh,
Okay.
and it's about Jewish comedians talking about like Holocaust jokes, and like Mel Brooks is in it, Sarah Silverman's in it, and it's like, and then like
Sarah Silverman
actual
made
survivors.
some pretty severe Holocaust jokes, I remember.
Yeah, but that's what they're talking about. Is like, you know, do we cross the line with that? Like, can we make these jokes? But then they interview like actual survivors and what they think and how some of them react to these jokes. Some are like, that's not funny. Some are like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
You know,
Wait, what is this again? I'm sorry.
I'm gonna try to find
totally
it.
blank.
It's not there. Let's see. It was on her Twitter feed. I'm gonna have to try to pull it up.
All right, we can do that like another time.
Yeah, I'll do
too,
it another
'cause we
time.
only
It's gonna
got,
take me
like-
forever to find.
Yeah, we got about 8 minutes here. This show flew by.
It did. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I hope the audience had a lot of fun too. I know we got a decent amount nerdy. I know that, but sometimes you got to get nerdy.
Yes,
you know what
do.
I mean? You got to nerd culture. It's big now. Get
It
on the
is.
bus, the nerd bus.
It's the bus from Fortnite.
I know it's not like I'm getting ready to introduce Soul Train. Get on the bus, the nerd bus, nerd bus. I was just saying the other day.
That's what we should have called the show. Not Nerd Vault. We should have called it Nerd Bus.
Get on the nerd bus.
Get on the Nerd Bus.
I
Beep
mean-
beep.
When you start podcasting, you go nerd bus. But what was I going to say?
Assuming Michael Perry doesn't assume he had that idea first.
I was just saying the other day, I wish they'd bring Soul Train back. And then I backtracked immediately because I realized they would probably have Wayne Brady host it or somebody awful like that. They would not do it well.
Will Smith could host it.
Will Smith hosting Soul Train?
I could see it. Or
don't
Carlton.
know.
What's his name?
Oh, that's right. I just assume his name is Carlton Banks. Does he have a name?
I know him as Carlton.
Or how about Steve Urkel?
Reggie Jackson.
Who's Reggie Jackson?
Reggie Jackson.
Football player?
No, the host of
What am I thinking?
one of the judges on American Idol.
It's Randy Jackson.
Randy Jackson. You have Randy Jackson do it.
Maybe. Let's see. Maybe Google will help us. Who should host Soul Train? I wish they'd just get Don Cornelius, but he's dead. Yeah. Don Cornelius was awesome. You ever watch Soul Train?
When I was little.
They had it on demand. I believe it was the summer after our senior year in high school. And I would watch it quite a bit, like Al Green and stuff. Dude, that show was so much fun. I mean, I understand why they wouldn't bring it back. Let's see. Later years, maybe? Attempted revivals and new ownership. In 2016, BET Networks, a division of Viacom, bought all rights and trademarks to the Soul Train brand, including the show's extensive library, the annual cruise event, and the award shows that continue to bear the Soul Train name. How is there so much Soul Train? I have no idea. There's an annual Soul Train cruise? And I'm not on that annually? Come on now.
Would you actually go on it?
I might. Maybe. I don't know.
I feel like
I
you
would
would feel
feel
kind of out of
dude,
place
I
there.
would feel so uncool on a Soul Train cruise.
Well, let's put it into perspective here. All people on that cruise are probably not your age.
No. I would be the youngest,
and
whitest
whitest.
person there, which is fine.
Besides the staff of the cruise.
I would have no issue with that. But I know that I would not. I can't dance.
you
I
can't dance.
Do,
and
I
the
can't
question
do
is, would anybody else have an issue with it?
with me being there. I don't know. That sounds kind of like discrimination. I don't think they can legally tell me I can't come because I'm white.
No, they can't tell, but they may not enjoy their
I
cruise
just
as
can't
much.
dance. The Soul Train's all about it.
So what would you do? Just get drunk and watch?
Yes.
You could do that on any cruise.
Well, it's not on demand anymore. I can't get drunk and watch anymore. What, I gotta go to YouTube like some peasant?
Hello, pores.
Dude, I mean, we were just talking about really old TV and movies before the show started. We were talking Laurel and Hardy because they got the new Ollie and
They
Stanley
need to bring
trailer.
that back.
That kind of humor? Yeah. You can't bring back Laurel and Hardy.
No.
They are past.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Groucho Marx was born in the 1800s.
Was he
He
really?
was born like 1898 or something.
That's crazy.
I know. But, yeah. What point was I just trying to make?
I have no idea.
I've completely lost it. Soul Train's good. I
Yes,
guess
it is.
that's the grand point, the end of it all.
Soul Train.
I love it. Yeah, you know, dude, the amount of anxiety I would have when everyone lines up and builds that little runway for you to do a cool dance down, the amount of anxiety I would have when it came to be my turn, I would not be able to handle it. I was like panicked at Nick's wedding a little bit because I was a groomsman.
I can
I
see
had
you
to come
going
out.
down the runway and everyone's clapping, and you just look nervous and just vomit on the floor.
I
and
vomit
just
on the
like-
floor, but I'm also clapping because I don't know what else to do. Yeah. It's just like, no, don't worry. I'm gonna clean it up. I'm gonna clean it up. Don't worry.
Put
That
like paper
would be the whole
towels,
thing.
like
Yeah. Is there a mop? Is there a mop on the cruise ship? I need it.
I can see you in, like a white disco suit just doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. I wear a white disco suit. But what a great show, dude.
If you slip and throw your back out.
I mean, I'm not that old.
No, but you like to go to do a movie, like you see it, like
I
crack.
slip in my own vomit. You're saying? Oh yeah. Just ruin the white suit completely. Oh, it'd be gross.
It's like all in your hair and stuff.
Oh yeah, just the remains of Jack and Coke all over me. Ugh, God, and cruise food, whatever that would be. I've never been on a cruise ship before. I don't
Cruises
really know
are
how it
fun.
works.
I went when I was younger.
I think it's a little too like. I'm a fairly restless person.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I
the best
don't-
thing about a cruise ship, though, is nothing ever closes. You can literally just walk around the cruise ship at night, like 2 a.m., and just get a slice of
guess
pizza
so.
and just walk. It's like a small city.
I like a small city on the water.
Yeah,
It brings
it's
us back to BioShock. I love how everything just circles back to what was talked about in the first 15 minutes of the show. It happens almost
It
every
does.
episode. I don't know. It's not planned that way, folks. I don't know why I would tell everyone that it wasn't planned that way. Like, I'm not that good. You're going to have to come in for this when I have Teresa back in.
I never had those teachers.
You never had Mr. Tibbs or Mr. Horror?
I wasn't in your school system at that time.
Oh, that's right.
I was up the street at good old Mizentop Day School.
Our neighbors here in Pauling, New York.
I've heard stories of these two.
Well, you're going to hear some more stories if you come in that day.
I will.
We're gonna talk about all that.
Send me a thing. I will.
Sure.
Send me a raven. I'll show up. Or however you communicate with me.
Sure, I'll send an owl on a broomstick or whatever you Harry Potter fans are into. Right? Am I close?
Yeah,
I read the
guess.
first 4 books, and then the first 5, and then she took a hell of a long time to come out with the 6th. And by that time, I was like,
I remember I read the 6th in
I
one
have-
night.
really? That book was like 2,000 pages.
Cover to cover on a vacation with my parents. I read it in the night I got it.
Did you retain any of it?
Some of it.
Yeah, that's a problem with one sitting reads. You know?
Yeah.
I've
I mean,
read-
then again, it was Harry Potter. I mean, there's not much to retain except like the central plot of how things were going.
Who knows? And then all of these hidden personality traits of all these characters. You know.
Snape was a cross-dresser.
Maybe. I mean, which would be fine if it
Had
made
context.
sense. Yeah, exactly. If it made sense within the thing, but like to just add stuff is odd. We will not be adding any more to this show, which is The Fringe, 103.7 WPWL Pauling Public Radio, Rush Studios. I'm Mike Berquist. That
I'm Ed
is-
Dougherty.
Yep. Thanks for coming in today, man. This was a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you for having me. I like coming here.
Anytime. All right, so
Anytime?
we're I'll text you.
Oh, good. All right. Otherwise, I'm just going to show up every day.
I mean, I wouldn't mind having people come in and like all the time. We'll talk. We'll figure stuff
we'll
out. We're
figure this.
we're at the very least going to start a podcast.
There you go.
So, anyways, thank you all for listening to The Fringe. I'll be back next week, I guess. So,
Kudos.
yeah. Peace.